Southern California rocked by a 5.1 magnitude quake as the region is battered by a historic tropical storm that's bringing torrential downpours and flooding to communities all across the area. Good evening, I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Sandra Mitchell. It has been a busy day. We want to thank you for joining us for our ongoing breaking news coverage on this historic storm.
We have reporters positioned all around the region, but we're going to start with Kai Goldberg, who continues to track Hilary. Kai?
Well, Sandra, Glenn, good to be with you on this Sunday evening. And folks, this is once again, as we just said, a historic weather event here in Southern California. Now into the 7 o'clock hour, we're starting to see the beaches beginning to get a lashing, picking up more strong winds, some thunderstorm chances, the possibility of water spouts, and as you just saw there in the Huntington Beach area, some very heavy rainfall. Looking at the tropical storm now, Hilary, she has made her way into San Diego County just about two and a half hours ago. Still down there in San Diego County, but moving quite rapidly in a northerly direction, and many areas are under flash flood warnings at this hour. But before I show you those, I do want to show you what you can expect over the next 24 hours. Again, a tropical storm making her way through Riverside, eventually San Bernardino County, up through the Cajon Pass, just between the Wrightwood and Big Bear Running Springs community, and eventually, by the time we make our way into early tomorrow morning, a tropical depression headed further north up in towards Idaho, and those communities in the Pacific Northwest are looking forward to more rainfall. Winds are beginning to pick up. Look at Orange County right now, some strong winds, gusts of up to 20, 25 miles per hour, especially along the coastline through Newport, Huntington, and Laguna beaches. Otherwise, we'll see these calm conditions starting to turn a little bit more dangerous as the winds begin to move further towards the north into the LA basin, where we once again are under a flash flood warning. You can see all the communities through Los Angeles County. This flash flood warning taking us through 7:45 tonight. Up into the Antelope Valley, they're continuing to see flash flooding possibilities and a high wind warning. Making our way east out towards Victorville, Barstow, the mountains of Big Bear, Running Springs, Lake Arrowhead. Once again, also a flash flood warning through the 8:30 hour tonight, and a high wind warning throughout much of Riverside and San Bernardino County through the midnight hour. Making our way through the Salton Sea at the top of your screen and into the Coachella Valley through Mecca, Indio, La Quinta, Palm Springs, flash flood warning through 8:15. And we're also looking for a tremendous amount and opportunities of flooding through Imperial, San Diego, and Riverside counties, those far eastern sections of those particular counties, with once again flood warnings through the midnight hour, flash flood warnings through 7:30 tonight, and the all-important and historic tropical storm warning for all of Southern California for the time being, in place through the middle of the week, but I can guarantee you it will expire as we head most likely through Monday night and into early Tuesday morning as Hilary and the remnants of Hilary continue to make her way further and further to the north. But we're far away from coming out of the woods, because as we look at the future cast, we'll start to see the foothill and mountain communities by the 8, 9 o'clock hours tonight. Really look forward to some strong, heavy rainfall also up into the Antelope Valley. We'll make our way through the Ojai Valley as we head up into Santa Barbara County, beaches along the Ventura, Los Angeles, and Orange County coastline, looking at some dangerous and heavy rainfall. That takes us through 10, 11 o'clock tonight, all the way through the midnight hour. And again, flash flooding, a distinct possibility through many of these areas as we not only make our way through the midnight hour tonight, but also into very early on your Monday morning. By the time we head towards the sunrise, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, much of Los Angeles, Ventura, as well as Santa Barbara County, those will be the areas where much of the energy will continue to stay isolated. And this is why the Los Angeles Unified School District has canceled classes for Los Angeles County for Monday, because we're still looking at that rainfall continuing to move through much of LA County, and that will continue as we make our way in and past the lunch hour. Now, the good news for Orange County and the Inland Empire, as we do head into the lunch hour, well, look at that. They'll begin to see some sunshine as much of the energy continues to travel further and further towards the north. And there you see it by Monday night. It'll be quite humid and quite sticky here in Southern California. However, all the energy in terms of the heavy rain, the thunderstorms, and the strong gusty winds will come to an end, and we'll look forward to what will be a fine extended forecast for much of Southern California. Temperatures will continue to stay into the 80s as we head into your Monday. We'll see a mixture of sunshine and clouds once we head into Orange County, as well as Riverside and San Bernardino County. But once again, Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara County continuing to see rain through the entire day tomorrow. Downtown Los Angeles, also a possibility for an isolated thunderstorm, especially into the morning hours. By Tuesday, partly cloudy, temperatures return into the mid-80s as we head into next weekend. The San Fernando Valley, thunderstorms and rain chances throughout your Monday morning and Monday afternoon. By Tuesday, we're dry and we're back into the 90s, mid-90s. Take us through much of the extended forecast. And for Orange County, yes, indeed, you'll start to see more sunshine as you head into your Monday afternoon, but still a chance for some rainfall as you greet the day tomorrow morning. But by Tuesday, we're back into the 80s, and we start to see what will be a fantastic extended forecast and much safer conditions for Southern California. Sandra, Glenn, back to you.
All right, thanks, Kai. Al, as this storm continues to drench the streets, people are being urged to stay home if possible.
Yeah, we're starting to see the effects of this storm now. KTLA's Chip Yost witnessing several accidents since this morning. Joining us live now from our Drive 5. Chip?
Hey there, guys. We have been all over San Diego County trying to see what Hilary has brought us. Right now, we are on the 78 West. We're basically going from northeast San Diego County to northwest San Diego County. This heads towards Oceanside near the Camp Pendleton area, if you know the freeway here. So this is what the conditions look like right now here on the 78. But we've seen some pounding rain in some other areas earlier. Let's take a look at some video from Imperial Beach. This video was taken earlier in Imperial Beach. You see the rain coming down very hard there earlier this afternoon and also flooding some streets. Take a look at some second piece of video from the beach. You can see one thing we didn't see from the storm, at least early on. The waves didn't look too huge there in Imperial Beach early on, but we did see some street flooding and that kind of thing that you see when you get a big rain coming in. We also stopped by Ramona. That's where we're coming from right now, and talked to some of the folks there because they were supposed to be directly in the path of this storm. We talked to one woman about what she was doing to prepare.
We battened down the hatches at home, and my husband did some work at the bar to make sure nothing flies away or anything. We took down our flag so it doesn't get messed up in the storm, but yeah, we're ready for it. I think it's starting to start a little bit more than it's been.
And one thing we've seen, you talked about it at the start, is a few accidents, some dangerous road conditions out there. This accident you're seeing right now, that was from the 163 as we were making our way from Imperial Beach to Ramona. You see the car there that crashed in the middle of the road. There was a dangerous situation because of visibility. Cars were flying up and not seeing that there was an accident and having to maneuver out of the way at the last second. Unfortunately, a secondary accident happened because of that first accident. Take a look at the secondary accident. That happened right behind our truck as cars were trying to avoid the first accident scene. A couple cars collided there, and that was not the only accident. Here is another piece of video from Orange County when we just started our day. First getting on the 91 near the Buena Park La Palma area near Valley View, saw another accident. The good news in all of those accidents we saw, it did not look, just at least from what we saw, that anybody was hurt seriously. We hope that is the case. But now if we go back to a live shot here, we're passing Twin Oaks Valley Road here on the 78. We see the rain coming down pretty good right now, but people in this area right now driving pretty safely, and the freeway is not too crowded as people seem to be taking the advice to stay off the roads if they can. For now, we're putting in North San Diego County. I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
All right, thank you, Chip, and stay safe out there. Well, as Hilary continues to drench Southern California, a 5.1 magnitude earthquake struck near Ojai early this afternoon.
Yeah, I felt it in Santa Clarita, that's for sure. KTLA's Rachel Menitoff live in Santa Paula, where she spoke with some of the people who felt that shock. Rachel?
Sandy, Glenn, good evening. People here in Santa Paula are contending with a torrential downpour, some street flooding as well. And then they also felt the brunt of that 5.1 magnitude earthquake, which hit us around 2:40 this afternoon. And I want to introduce you to two of those people, Belinda and Sean. Belinda, you told me that you've lived in this home for 20 years and you haven't felt anything like this before. Is that right?
Yeah, I was born and raised here, but that was a jolt. I mean, it knocked me kind of like off my feet, and I turned around and ran over here, and he told me when he got here to the door that my car was just like literally like off the ground, like bouncing up and down. I was like, what? But I've never felt, I've been here, I'm born and raised. I never felt anything like that. It was a jolt. It wasn't a swaying motion. It was a jolt.
You know, we've been preparing for this tropical storm for days now. How unexpected was this earthquake, this added weather event?
It just shocked me. I wasn't. We were hunkering down for the storm. We didn't expect an earthquake, But we know we are used to should be used to this because we're from California, But it shocked us.
Absolutely. And Sean, you were telling us that you tried to stand close to the door. How did you kind of respond when the earthquake hit?
The door was kind of stuck because the earthquake was moving, and I just kind of panic mode. I told her to get next to the doorway and, making sure she was coming to be safe. Got to take care of the women.
Absolutely. Sean, Belinda, thank you so much for talking with us. We also have some video to show you from a neighborhood in Ojai that captured the impact of this credible earthquake. Let's play that if we could. This is the immediate impact of that 5.1 magnitude earthquake. It rocked some of the parked cars, as you can see, in the homes, and it's pretty loud, too. And then there's those aftershocks. Officials said we had over 20 aftershocks, and this is a significant sequence. More magnitude 3s are also possible, they've said. Drivers on the freeway were also probably shocked. They're trying to contend with heavy rain and poor visibility, and then they were surprised by this jolt of sorts. We also have some video taken from Tres Hermanas, a restaurant in Ojai. Take a look at this one. The whole restaurant shook, and it looks like they quickly evacuated their customers as a precaution. No outages have been reported so far, and many of you probably got one of those alerts about the earthquake on your phone. We're told there isn't a connection between these stormy conditions outside and the earthquake, but the two together brought us two extreme weather events. The quake was first reported around 2:40 this afternoon with a preliminary magnitude of 5.0, and it was later upgraded to 5.1. I do want you to hear from one of our earthquake experts, Dr. Lucy Jones, a seismologist, who talks about what this one was all about. Take a listen to what she told us.
There is no particular relationship between the weather and what's happening underground. Remember, people always try to make patterns. Usually they call it hot weather because that's what we had for the Whittier Narrows earthquake. But there's really no way that what's going on in the storm would be affecting the rate of earthquakes. It's, of course, we notice the patterns when they occur together. And I think actually the biggest impact would be what it might be doing to the network operation.
And we did get reports of some minor damage at the Pacific View Mall in Ventura County. Some of the ceiling tiles fell down as a result of the impact of the earthquake right in front of the Macy's. But thankfully, there really hasn't been much damage here on the ground or on the freeways as we were driving along the freeways. And, many people just tell us it was a complete shock. They've been preparing for days for this tropical storm, had no idea and no expectation of such a large, heavy earthquake. So it's come as a shock and a surprise to many people who were, to be honest, very focused on this tropical storm. That's the very latest from Santa Paula. Tonight, I'm Rachel Menitoff. I'll send it back inside to both of you.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. Of course, it's interesting when people talk about earthquake weather, which, of course, is not true.
Right.
It's when it's really hot and dry. And today it's a little muggy, but it's definitely not dry. So
we just didn't expect it.
Again, folks, weather has nothing to do with an earthquake. Meantime, this tropical storm Hilary continued to work its way across the region, bringing torrential rains and now concerns of flooding.
And we are joined by LA Fire Department Captain Eric Scott with more on how people can stay safe and the role that his department is playing in the city storm response. Captain, thanks so much for joining us. I know it's been a busy day for your department. We're a few hours into this storm. What's the big concern right now?
Well, that we're not out of it yet. We've known this is coming, so it's unique to most of the types of disasters that we receive here in California, from earthquakes and wildfires that happen instantaneous. So we've been prepared. We are leaning forward. We've augmented our resources. We have additional boots on the ground. Our concern is that hopefully people are going to stay at home. We want people to stay informed, stay safe, and stay home.
Well, unfortunately, what we have here in Southern California, we actually have a lot of homeless people, and obviously a lot of them always tend to gather around the LA River. Have you had any river rescues you've had to make today?
Yes, we had one. We had a couple of vehicles that entered the LA River. They were likely just abandoned. We went by land, air, and sea, determined that there were no victims inside that vehicle. But as our helicopter was overseeing it, quite a bit down the river, there was actually a patient that was located. It actually went quite into the jurisdiction of Los Angeles County Fire Department. So we applaud their efforts. They ultimately performed the rescue. But that was the only actual individual that entered the LA River. But it serves as a good reminder. We don't want people to go out there who are curious, avoid that temptation. Please stay inside. And of course, we take a lot of proactive efforts to survey those known areas where there's persons that are experiencing homelessness and encourage them to get out well ahead of the rains. However, not everyone heeds our warning.
And we know there are places for people to go tonight. Can you tell us about some of those resources, Captain?
Sure, and that's why this Emergency Operations Center here is enacted, and it's been increased to a level 2, which does not happen very often. And what that means is that there are subject matter experts at each of those pods behind me that are decision makers. They're from law enforcement, fire, medical, logistics, liaison, port, all of these different people that come together, including those to help those who are unhoused. And so not only do we proactively go out and try to get individuals to leave those areas of concern, but we try to show them what the city has to offer. And we work very closely with providing them temporary housing. And so that's been an ongoing effort amongst not just the fire department. We really have to thank all the city agencies that come together to try to give some aid to those who are homeless as well.
All right. Any more advice for residents other than try to stay home and ride this one out?
Well, when we get rain, we're going to have downed wires. So if you see them, consider them energized and potentially lethal. Slow down if you drive. We really don't want you to drive unless you have to, but very much slow down. I'd say those are the two big takeaways that we have at this time.
All right, Captain, thanks for being a calming voice during this storm. We appreciate you, Captain Eric Scott from the LA City Fire Department, and thanks to all the men and women in your department doing so much to keep us safe tonight.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let's talk about the schools, the closures. Earlier it was reported that classes in Garden Grove Unified would be canceled tomorrow. We're now learning that information was false, and Garden Grove Unified confirms that they will have school tomorrow. LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho announced all schools will be closed Monday. Classes are expected to resume on Tuesday, but he says they're carefully watching the storm's impact. Pasadena and Rialto Unified School Districts also announcing the classes will be canceled. Same goes for Saugus Union School District and William S. Hart Union High School District in the Santa Clarita Valley. And all campuses in the Bear Valley Unified School District will be closed tomorrow, and as well as Cal State LA says the classes will also be canceled tomorrow as well.
Look for those emails and text messages from your district. All right, we have had a lot of rainfall across the area all day. It's really done a number on our power systems. The LA Department of Water and Power now reporting power outages for about 5,000 customers. Boyle Heights and Hollywood appear to be the most impacted areas right now. SoCal Edison also reporting about 10,000 customers affected by power outages from LA County to Riverside and San Bernardino counties. All right, let's talk about what's going on at the airports. 80 flights have been canceled either into or out of LAX. That's according to the flight tracking site FlightAware. More than 100 flights so far canceled into or out of Burbank. John Wayne Airport also affected. Airlines have already issued travel waivers for the storm. That does include Southwest and Frontier.
And as we were just talking about with the captain, heavy rain causing concerns for the LA River.
Yeah, our Andy Reesmeyer is in Elysian Valley with more on the conditions there. And Andy, I'm not sure if that area beside you is normally dry, but that's a lot of water.
No, yeah. It's normally not like this. Good to see you, Sandra and Glenn. Since I've been out here for the past couple hours, one thing that you can definitely tell is that the amount of rain has really started to pick up in the last hour or so. I don't know if it's really hard to see on camera because rain doesn't photograph very well, but as we pan over here and look at the LA River, just about 15 minutes, 20 minutes ago, we were just on that pathway with the bikes right over here next to Frogtown and decided that it was a little too dangerous to be down there because, of course, that the storm has made this river come up to a considerable amount, even just in the past couple of hours that we've been over in this area. You can see in the center of this channel where typically there is water. It's sort of more of like a stream, generally speaking. You would see a couple of channels cut through here. I mean, if you've ever driven around LA, you've probably seen it before, our fabulous picturesque river. But this part actually has a little bit of greenery, some natural elements to it. Those trees now, their stumps pretty much completely submerged over here as you see that water coming down and obviously adding a lot to the storm to the channel. Excuse me. I made fun of Casey Montoya on the morning show yesterday. So this is what happens when you roast the weather person. You get sent out to do this. But I'm with Richard, who's a Highland Park native who, like many people, wanted to just come out here and check it out. And you're just happy to see this. This is something that you're kind of just curious about.
I am. I just was driving by and I was like, you know what? Let me see how the river's doing, because it gets like this when it rains, and it's always a sight to see.
So this isn't necessarily concerning to you at this point because you've seen this for your whole life. You're looking at this and saying this is pretty much how it usually is.
Exactly. When it rains, it gets like this. It's nice to see the river filled up.
Now, do you have any thoughts about how far this is going to go? I mean, I know we were talking before the live shot that you were a little concerned maybe about homeless people who were down there.
Correct. You know, hopefully everyone's safe. There's no one in here. And next couple of days or just tomorrow, and hopefully it wraps up.
Are you going to take some photos and put them on the internet?
Nah, probably not.
Okay, all right, very good. Richard, nice to meet you. So, yeah, that's the story here along the LA River. And like we've been showing you, this really just coming up very dramatically in the past hour or so. And a lot of debris flowing through there. Obviously, some things like trees and grass and other organic material, but of course, a lot of trash. And unfortunately, all of that filters down through all of these rivers and tributaries and channels out into the Pacific Ocean. And when you stand here, you can smell it. It smells like dirt. It smells like trash, which is a bummer. So that's why they want you to obviously avoid the oceans there as well. But one thing I think that we'll see as the next couple of hours go by is as we really start to see the majority of that precipitation, at least through this stretch of Los Angeles, pick up. I think by 9 o'clock is what I was reading from the National Weather Service is when that's going to peak, and certainly can tell the difference here from when I was first out here to now. So going to try to stay dry, send it back to you guys in the studio. Glenn and Sandra.
Andy, I think you lost that battle.
Yeah, it's
Glenn,
too late to stay dry, Andy. He's absolutely soaked. Andy Reesmeyer, thank you.
Yeah, it's fun though.
Yeah. All right, let's check in with the guy again. Boy, yesterday morning he's doing comedy on the morning show, and look at him now.
I don't feel
Joke's on him now, right?
I don't feel that bad for him because this is not a winter storm. It's 80 degrees outside, so it's actually quite comfortable, but it is wet, and it is continuing to rain, and not just in LA County, but take a look at Orange County, Huntington Beach. This is really actually a beautiful shot. Look at the surf coming in. This is an offshore flow. We've actually got some Santa Ana winds throughout Southern California this afternoon, and you can see as these waves break, as they crest, while we're looking at the foam, the white water coming over the back of the waves. So really some nice wave conditions. However, very dangerous to go out in the water. Surfers, boogie boarders, bodyboarders recommended not to go into the water, especially for the next few days, as we'll see a lot of what's in the LA River where Andy was making its way, unfortunately, out into the Pacific. So you can easily get very sick. Well, here's a look at Hilary, a tropical storm continuing to stay at tropical storm status for the time being. Counterclockwise rotation and continuing to expand further north into Ventura, Santa Barbara County, now moving into Riverside County, the center of this storm system. And as it does, it's not just the center of the storm that's going to affect many communities, but it's these outer bands that are going to give a lot of these areas a good lashing, and that'll take place from east to west. And we'll make our way through the night tonight with Hilary moving in a northerly direction through areas like Temecula, Hemet, Lake Elsinore, Elsinore, a little bit further up in towards the Coachella Valley. Then throughout the 10, 11 o'clock hours, a little bit further north towards Riverside, the Cherry Valley. There's the Cajon Pass, Crestline, Running Springs, Lake Arrowhead, Big Bear. Those communities will begin to see some heavier rainfall through once again the 10, 11, midnight hours tonight. Victorville, Barstow, Hesperia, the Apple Valley, those communities with these outer bands continuing to be strong and holding a lot of heavy rainfall continue to see the possibilities of flash flooding and eventually into early tomorrow morning just to the east of the Ridgecrest area and eventually up into the Nevada and California border communities. As of 4 o'clock this afternoon, some pretty impressive rainfall totals up in the Antelope Valley where they've seen a great deal of flash flooding. Lake Palmdale has picked up just under 3 inches of rain. Castaic just over 2 inches. Wrightwood just over 4 inches. So impressive rainfall totals up in the mountains so far. And the Palm Springs Airport just over 2 inches. The Coachella Valley has been seeing a tremendous amount of flooding throughout the entire day today, and that will continue through the night tonight. The wind's starting to pick up along the Orange County shoreline. As we head through Newport, Huntington Beach, we're looking at sustained winds between 15 to 18 miles per hour. Some of those gusts up into the low and mid-20s. But look what's taking place throughout Beverly Hills. Much of Westwood will head out towards Brentwood, Santa Monica, and eventually along PCH through Topanga into Malibu. This is some heavy rainfall, which includes much of the Santa Monica mountain range. And of course, heading into the San Fernando Valley, there's the 101, the 405, the Sepulveda Pass. We'll eventually head up towards the 118. Woodland Hills, Calabasas, Thousand Oaks, Westlake, all of those communities through Agoura continuing to also pick up heavy rainfall, which continues out east into the San Gabriel Valley foothills above Sierra Madre, Duarte, and out towards Rancho Cucamonga. And again, much of Los Angeles County, which includes the San Gabriel Valley foothills, under a flash flood warning through 7:45 tonight. Then we'll make our way further east into San Dimas, San Bernardino, these foothill areas also picking up a heavy rainfall right now. And where Andy was there in the Frogtown area, what we're seeing throughout many of these lower elevated areas, the washes, well, that's the result of the heavy rain up in the higher elevations that's now starting to make their move down towards some of the lower elevations and eventually out towards the coastal sections. Flash flood warning from much of the Inland Empire through the 11:30 hour tonight and down through the Coachella Valley, Mecca, Indio, and eventually further south through the Salton Sea into San Diego County. As we will take a look at that flash flood warning until about 8:15 tonight and further east and further up into the 29 Palms, Yucca Valley, and Joshua Tree areas. They're also looking at flash flood warnings that will take us well into the 9 o'clock hours tonight. And of course, the unprecedented and historic tropical storm warning for all of Southern California in place through the night tonight. It does expect to expire, and I would expect it to expire as we head into late Monday night and early Tuesday morning. So we'll continue to talk about when we think that will come to a close, but it is in effect for the time being. We've also got high surf advisories, marine statement, and small craft advisories. If you are a mariner, these next 24 to 48 hours are not the times to go out to sea, so keep those boats in port. Here's a look at the future through the night tonight. We'll make our way into the 8, 9 o'clock hours where we'll start to see some heavier rainfall through many of the foothill areas as we see Hilary continue to make her way very rapidly from Riverside County into San Bernardino County. And as that occurs, well, we'll meet up with some of that topography and we'll start to see again that heavier rainfall, flash flooding possibilities. They tend to increase when that occurs, so that will happen throughout the 9, 10, 11 o'clock hours tonight and through the midnight hours. Well, we'll see some of that moisture continuing to return back towards Orange County, Riverside, and San Bernardino County, and then as the sun begins to rise on your Monday, a lot of this energy, this heavy rainfall, will now be isolated to Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara County, portions of Riverside and San Bernardino, the valley areas. But once we head into the lunch hour tomorrow, we'll take a look. We'll start to see some of that sunshine coming out through Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino County. No heavy rainfall, just a possibility of a passing shower. However, the Coachella Valley still has an opportunity through Monday afternoon and Monday evening to pick up some heavy rainfall and possibly an isolated thunderstorm. Temperatures will continue to stay into the upper 70s and low 80s. Also, Good chance for some showers through the San Fernando Valley, much of the Santa Monica area, and definitely up towards Ventura and Santa Barbara, also the Ojai Valley. Going into Garden Grove tomorrow at 77 degrees and making our way further south towards Laguna, well, they'll look forward to Monday afternoon bringing partly cloudy skies as the atmosphere for both Orange County as well as Riverside and San Bernardino counties begins to dry out, taking us into what will be a lovely Tuesday here in Southern California. The 7-day for the Inland Empire, 80 degrees tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, and of course, we will have a slight chance for some showers for Monday morning for Riverside and San Bernardino County, but by Monday afternoon, well, we'll be looking good. We'll start to see much safer conditions, and then we'll head into Tuesday, Wednesday, where we will begin to see temperatures transitioning from the 80s into the 90s for what will be a warm summer-like extended forecast. But the very good news, as we do look into the extended forecast, well, no triple digits on the horizon. Inland areas of Orange County also looking forward to some partly cloudy skies by tomorrow afternoon. A slight chance for moisture, of course, showers in the morning. Tuesday, we'll see humidity sticking around Southern California. Then we will continue to see the temperatures rising slightly into the mid-80s by Friday, 86 degrees for Saturday and Sunday. Downtown Los Angeles, definitely looking forward to thunderstorm chances for both your Monday morning as well as your Monday afternoon. By Tuesday, humidity, low 80s continue, and that'll take us into Saturday at about 84. Sunday, 83 degrees. The San Fernando Valley also, of course, in LA County and points further north that will continue to see rain and thunderstorms. But by Tuesday, we will see the sunshine returning to not just the San Fernando Valley, but all of Southern California, bringing us some great extended forecast daytime highs from the mid-90s, and then by the time we head towards next weekend, well, if you have outdoor plans, keep them in place. Next weekend looks terrific here in Southern California, and that includes our coastal communities where once again we'll see a chance for some rainfall and an isolated thunderstorm throughout the Monday morning and Monday afternoon period, and by the time we make our way into Tuesday, beaches will begin to see marine layer returning for the morning and late night hours, and then we'll see plenty of sunshine into the afternoon. The San Gabriel Valley also looking forward to heavy rain through the night tonight. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, we still have the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm, but will begin to dry out with temperatures rising into the mid-80s by Tuesday. That trend will continue to Friday, and then by Saturday and Sunday, the San Gabriel Valley looking forward to daytime highs of about 88 degrees. Looking forward to showers up into Ventura County, especially tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy, temperatures return to the 80s on Tuesday, mid-80s for much of the extended forecast. And if you're a Santa Clarita Valley resident, well, you've got heavier rain coming your way through the night tonight and through much of the day tomorrow before we return to dry conditions with temperatures into the low and slightly mid-90s, which will continue all the way through next Saturday as well as next Sunday. Sandra, Glenn, back to you.
Yeah, situations like this starting to unfold in San Bernardino County at this hour. Many keeping a close eye on the Sheep Creek Wash here in Wrightwood, which is expected to possibly overflow as the heavy rain moves in. Driving conditions in the area are dangerous, and flooding could lead to evacuations.
And some crazy video right here. This is Riverside County, where a pickup truck got stuck in fast-moving water after a river overflowed right onto the street. And look at that. This is Ramon Road, Thousand Palms. The river flowing so aggressively. You saw that refrigerator floating by. The driver of the truck was not injured. CHP did close off the road to prevent any more drivers from getting stuck.
Anytime crews in the Antelope Valley cleared a mudslide in Palmdale this afternoon along the northbound 14 freeway.
Yeah, Caltrans just reminding motorists to avoid unnecessary travel today as the risk for slides and flash floods increases. Tropical Storm Hilary barreling through the area right now.
Well, President Biden has released a statement about the tropical storm. He says, in part, as soon as Tropical Storm Hilary's path became clear, my administration took immediate action to prepare. I continue to be briefed on our preparedness efforts and the storm's potential impact, including flooding. My administration stands ready to provide additional assistance as requested. I urge people to take this storm seriously and listen to state and local officials. President Biden also says that he's closely monitoring the earthquake in Ventura County and any resulting impacts.
And our mayor, LA Mayor Karen Bass, along with other city and state officials, have been updating us on Tropical Storm Hilary.
Yeah, the mayor provided this vital information for residents.
Right now, it is critical that Angelenos stay safe and stay home unless directed otherwise by safety officials. Avoid unnecessary travel. In the event of life-threatening emergency, Angelenos should call 911. For impacts like roadway flooding, tree limbs blocking roads, or mudslides, Angelenos should request service online or by calling 311. And I know Chief Crowley will be providing an update on that and much more in terms of the status of our efforts. Like I said earlier, our emergency departments are unparalleled, so when an unprecedented disaster or disasters hit, know that we are ready.
Governor Gavin Newsom was also present at that update.
Yeah, here's the governor now talking about the state efforts to help with the storm.
I had the intention of doing what I've done for much of the day and over the last few days, and that was to visit, to check in, to listen, to learn, and to offer the support of the state. I've had the privilege of doing that today from the border down in National City. I had the privilege of being there yesterday with the convoy. Hundreds of National Guards men and women, 350 that were deployed to 11 counties throughout the region. Had the opportunity to spend time with Mayor Bass's colleagues down in San Diego and elsewhere, talking about their efforts, and moved our way up to meet with farm workers. Do your best, be safe. If you don't have an essential reason to be out there, don't. And, you know, if you're passing the CHP, which I was with, maybe you want to slow down.
The governor speaking earlier today. A number of emergency shelters have opened across LA. They offer homeless people protection from the storm. This one in North Hollywood opened by Hope the Mission in a partnership with the city. It is just one of 3 emergency shelters that organization opened. In addition to cover from the storm, they are providing food and water and a path toward interim housing.
This is a place that we can take people who otherwise would be out in the elements in some really adverse conditions, which are honestly life-threatening for people who are living on the streets. People can come inside, we get access to hot showers, we have hot food, we have some hot cocoa going on in most of the shelters right now. But most importantly, we can connect them to navigation towards interim housing.
Also, Hope the Mission's teams are being dispatched all across the city. They're out there checking along the riverbeds and encampments to alert people about the shelters and help them with transportation to get there.
Well, as this storm continues to drench the streets, again, people are being urged to stay home if possible.
KTLA's Chip Yost, though, is out on the roads for us, joining us live from Drive 5 to see what the situation is. Hey, Chip.
Yeah, good evening there. Yeah, the word is be careful. You're going to see in a moment. We've witnessed, unfortunately, a number of accidents today. Right now, we're still on the 78 West. We just got back on it again on the 78 West, heading towards Oceanside. But we have seen, we'll talk about those accidents in a moment, but we've also seen a lot of rain coming in. You see a little bit now. It's getting dark, so maybe hard to see it a little bit, but let's show you some of the video from a little earlier when we were in Imperial Beach. We've been all over San Diego County trying to get a first look at Hilary as she introduces herself to California. We saw her a little bit there in Imperial Beach, as you're seeing there. A lot of rain coming down earlier today, and then there was this more video from Imperial Beach. We saw not only the ocean, we didn't see any big waves from Hilary while we were down there, but did see some street flooding right there in the beach area. We also went to Ramona from there. They were supposed to be kind of in the heart of Hilary as she made her way north. We talked to one resident there about preparations that they were doing.
We battened down the hatches at home, and my husband did some work at the bar to make sure nothing flies away or anything. We took down our flag so it doesn't get messed up in the storm, but yeah, we're ready for it. I think it's starting to start a little bit more than it's been.
Now let's talk about those accidents. We've seen 3 accidents, as I said, as we've been driving around San Diego and Orange counties. The accident you're looking at right there was on the 163 as we're making our way from Imperial Beach to Ramona. That accident was playing out as they were waiting for the paramedics and police to show up, another accident happened when some cars slowed down to avoid the first accident. Take a look at this. Our camera was pointing behind us because we were concerned about some of the traffic that was coming very fast on the 163, and because of the visibility, some of them didn't slow down until a little later. So we saw that little collision, unfortunately, that happened as a secondary accident from the first one. And then there was this one in Orange County, this third one. That one happened earlier in the day as we were just getting started in the Buena Park area, La Palma area. That was on the 91 near Valley View. So be careful. These roads are slick. A lot of people spinning out from what we're seeing. And so you got to be careful if you're out on the roads. Right now, let's take another look. This is the look from the 78 West here in North San Diego County. Right now, the roads are pretty empty here, thankfully. People taking the advice to stay off the roads, it looks like, as we're the only one in this little stretch right now, though we've seen some cars here and there, and you probably see some coming the other way. We're now reporting live here on the 78 in North San Diego County. I'm Chip Yost. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Chip. And the eye of the storm is right near where Chip is in North San Diego County, but there are still, as you saw, powerful winds, downing trees, causing power outages, along with all the flooding.
Yeah, correspondent Nancy Liu has the latest on the conditions there in San Diego.
Good evening to you. California remains under a state of emergency, and there is no doubt Hilary is here. We are in Imperial Beach, which is south of San Diego. This is where Hilary hit first. And amazingly, this beach is closed, and yet we see people out here. A band of Hilary came through a short time ago. The surfers were ordered out of the water, and people just ventured back in. But rain has been falling intermittently, sometimes very fast, and probably 1.5 to 2 inches at one point here in this area. And of course, excessive rainfall is the concern, with up to 10 inches expected in some mountainous areas. That's about a year's worth of rain. So there is just major concern about catastrophic and life-threatening flooding, and we are already hearing about people who need to be rescued. We're hearing about boulder and debris slides, and we're hearing about a lot of flash flooding all over Southern California. The governor says indeed it is an interesting day here in Southern California, given that we also had a 5.1 magnitude earthquake earlier, which was centered in Ojai in Ventura County, as well as about a dozen aftershocks since. So not only Tropical Storm Hilary, but an earthquake as well on this very unusual day in Southern California. Back to you.
All right, Nancy Liu for us in San Diego. Thank you, Nancy. This is video from the Oak Glen area in the San Bernardino Mountains. You can see those mud flows really just raging down streets as high as some of the mailboxes there. The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning for the area. It will be in place until 11:30 tonight. Heavy rain expected to continue to hit that area. The gauges have reported hourly rainfall between 1 and 2 inches in some parts of the San Bernardino Mountains.
You know, I remember several years ago where that had happened, and it had gone inside of a home, and it was like, I mean, that stuff, it's like cement.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Tell by the color of
You
it,
cannot,
right?
you can't dig it out.
No.
It's rocks and mud.
Mud, yeah, it's
kinds
just,
of stuff.
it's awful.
That's pretty.
Yeah, well, the sun's starting to set on our Sunday, our historic Sunday here in Southern California. Greetings, everybody, from Huntington Beach. As we're seeing the winds picking up along the Orange, Los Angeles County coastlines, you can see the palm trees. They are starting to sway back and forth just a little bit harder as we now make our way into the evening hours. And Hilary, well, she's still a very strong storm, but look at the outer bands. They're really starting to expand, making their way further up into Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo County. We'll head up towards Las Vegas. They're picking up a tremendous amount of rainfall through the entire day today, and at this hour, still no exception. And to the southeast, making our way through the Imperial, Riverside, San Bernardino County communities, they too are seeing facing the continuation of the possibilities of flash flooding. Here's everything you need to know. Hilary, first of all, is continuing to move very quickly, northerly at about 23 miles per hour, gusts of up to 70 miles per hour. She's in San Diego County, just about to move into Riverside County at this hour, and the trajectory will continue to take her in a northerly direction eventually throughout the 9-10 o'clock hours tonight into and through the Big Bear communities. Barstow is in the crosshairs a little bit later on tonight. By about the 11 o'clock hour, winds should continue to stay at about 40 miles per hour, but moving closer towards the California-Nevada border communities, and eventually, as we make our way towards tomorrow morning, she will become a tropical depression up into southern Idaho, and those communities, not only into Idaho, but Montana, Washington State, Oregon, they're starting to see some heavier rainfall all the way up north. Looking at the rainfall totals so far, this is at the 7 o'clock hour. Up in the Antelope Valley, they've seen a great deal of heavy rainfall. They've been the recipients of much of the energy of Hilary throughout the entire day, and so far, and I say that because they certainly have more rain on the way through the night tonight, they've picked up just over 5 1/4 inches at 5 3/34. Van Nuys, just over 2.5 inches. Wrightwood up in the mountains, also very impressive, 5.5 inches since the 7 o'clock hour, and Garden Grove in Orange County, picking up just over 1.5 inches at 1 inch and 61/100. Look at the winds in Orange County now making their way up towards the Rancho Palos Verdes area, Signal Hill. They're seeing winds sustained through Long Beach as well at about 18 miles per hour. Those winds will continue to move a little bit further north up and towards Santa Monica, the South Bay, and eventually into Topanga and Malibu over the next hour or so. And the areas that we're beginning to see some heavier rainfall at this hour are making their way through the west side, Westwood, Beverly Hills, up in towards the Santa Monica Mountains as we head through that, the Sepulveda Pass, and eventually into the San Fernando Valley, the Santa Clarita Valley, and then we'll make our way through Glendale, Eagle Rock, and out towards the San Gabriel Valley into Pasadena, where we're looking at flash flood warnings until very early tomorrow morning. You can see all of these communities, including the Agoura Hills area, Acton, we'll head towards La Cañada, Flint Ridge, La Crescenta, Pomona, and eventually out towards the Inland Empire with that flash flood warning now that has been extended until about 3 a.m. on your Monday morning, and throughout the communities into San Dimas, Rancho Cucamonga, San Bernardino, and further south towards Chino, the Chino Hills, and Riverside. They're also currently under a flash flood warning, and that should stay in place just before the midnight hour at about 11:30. And take a look at what's continuing to happen through Borrego Springs as we head down towards San Diego County, the Salton Sea, Mecca, Indio, much of the Coachella Valley, still under a flash flood warning through the 8 o'clock hour, and a flood warning throughout the areas from El Centro all the way up towards the Salton Sea. So a lot of very dangerous conditions continuing to stick around Southern California through the night tonight and into Monday morning. And the most important one of all is your tropical storm warning, a historic tropical storm warning for much of Southern California, in place now through Wednesday, but I am almost positive, and I can guarantee you that it will expire earlier than that, because once we make our way into late Monday night and early Tuesday morning, Hilary will be a distant memory. And here's how things will evolve over the next 24 hours as we'll take a look through the 8 o'clock hour up into Palmdale, Lancaster. They'll continue to see heavy rainfall and the opportunity for flash flooding. And then take a look at the foothills through the San Gabriel Valley and all the way out towards the Cajon Pass. These areas will begin to see heavier rainfall as Hilary continues to lift towards the northerly direction, meeting up with the foothills and mountains, and that's where we see that heavier rainfall that will be occurring. And that takes us through the 10 o'clock hour and through the midnight hour. Orange County, the Inland Empire, our coastal sections will continue to see heavy rain, and all the way up to 395 as we head up towards Mojave, Lake Isabella, Tehachapi. Those areas will continue to see heavy rainfall throughout the night tonight as well. By tomorrow morning, just as the sun begins to rise, we'll start to see some of the mountains and deserts coming out of the heavier rainfall, as much of the energy will stay somewhat isolated to Riverside, San Bernardino, San Gabriel Valley, the San Fernando Valley, much of the LA Basin, the coastline through Los Angeles County and Ventura County. And eventually, as we make our way into late Monday afternoon and Monday night, well, much of this energy will begin to dissipate. And as we look forward from late Monday and into early early Tuesday morning. Well, there you go. We'll see the end of Hilary, and we'll begin to dry out here in Southern California. Tonight, we'll take a look at some overnight lows. Barstow at 64 degrees, Temecula going for 61, as much of the Inland Empire will continue to see a chance for some heavy rainfall through the midnight hour tonight, more so for Los Angeles, Ventura, as well as Santa Barbara counties. And of course, temperatures will continue to cool down as we head through the night tonight, but not a very cool night. Once again, this is a tropical storm, so temperatures will continue to stay in the 60s and 70s in the overnight hours for this Sunday night into Monday morning. For Monday afternoon, we'll see shower chances through the San Fernando Valley as Van Nuys looks forward to a daytime high of 82 degrees. Pasadena, the San Gabriel Valley in the upper 70s with rain chances continuing into Monday afternoon. Beaches will, in LA County, look forward to more shower chances. And then, as I was discussing with you earlier, we'll begin to see Orange County and Riverside County picking up a little bit more sunshine as we head into tomorrow for your Monday afternoon with temperatures into the upper 70s to the mid 80s. Let's take a look at the 7-day for the Inland Empire. We'll see partly cloudy skies once we make our way into your Monday afternoon, but tomorrow morning, still a chance for some showers and possibly an isolated thunderstorm. Monday night will begin to clear out for Riverside and San Bernardino County, and then by Tuesday, well, we're back into the sunshine and much safer conditions with temperatures beginning to make their way into the upper 80s. By Wednesday, we're into the low 90s, and those 92 to 94 degree daytime highs continue into next Saturday and next Sunday. Inland sections of Orange County, once again, a slight chance for some showers for the morning period, but by tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to forecast partly cloudy skies with temperatures of about 77 degrees. We're talking about areas from Anaheim through Yorba Linda, Garden Grove, those particular communities. A nice Tuesday, and we'll most likely see the return of the marine layer through the late nights and early mornings for the Orange County coastline, and then we'll hit 85 Friday, 86 degrees for next Saturday and Sunday. Going into downtown Los Angeles, LA County, once again, all the way to Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo, still looking for rain and thunderstorms and isolated thunderstorms as we head through much of the day tomorrow on Monday. But by Tuesday, downtown LA back into the low 80s and will begin to dry out. And Tuesday also will be quite a humid day here in Southern California, and that includes the San Fernando Valley, where we'll see rain and thunderstorm chances through the day tomorrow. But by Tuesday, we're into the low 90s. That'll push us into the mid 90s by Wednesday, and then anywhere between 96 to 97 degrees. That'll take us all the way into next weekend. Beaches picking up chances for some thunderstorms, a little bit of an opportunity maybe for a water spout out along the Southern California shorelines through the night tonight and into Monday morning. But by Tuesday, we start to clear out the coastal sections, and we look forward to a beautiful extended forecast. Our friends up in the mountains definitely looking forward to some thunderstorm chances as we head through the day tomorrow, but much better and safer conditions by Tuesday. And the San Gabriel Valley, rain, thunderstorms through Monday afternoon. By Tuesday, we're partly cloudy at 85 degrees. And finally, by Friday, we're at about 86. And next weekend, 88 degrees for both Saturday and Sunday for daytime highs. Looking forward to an excellent weekend forecast once again for next weekend. Sandra, Glenn, back to you.
All right, we'll get through it. Kai, thank you. The city of Pasadena has activated its Emergency Operations Center as Tropical Storm Hilary makes its way across our region.
Yeah, residents there have been preparing for the high winds, rain, and flooding. Lisa Darian with Pasadena City Affairs now joining us live. Lisa, thanks for joining us on a very busy Sunday.
Thank you. Mother Nature's definitely keeping us busy today.
Yeah, I'll say. So what exactly, for our viewers who don't realize what this is about, what does activation of the Operations Center actually mean for the city of Pasadena?
Yes, our Emergency Operations Center has been activated for the last 24 hours, and it's bringing all of our key staff from various departments together, one room, coordinated effort, face-to-face communications to support our field activities that are going on. We currently have a shelter open with 37 unhoused individuals, and we've been proactive working all week because we have caseworkers that this is what they do all year round. We have fire, health department, Huntington Hospital, and other teams that go out. They know where these unhoused individuals are frequent. We have our city buses that have been picking them up, taking them to the shelter, getting them showers, clean clothes, and then hopefully tomorrow be able to transition them to alternate housing or back to where they request to go.
Is that the biggest need right now in the city of Pasadena, do you think, the resources for the homeless as we get through this storm?
Homeless, and I know sand and sandbags. All of our neighboring cities are having the same issue. We have we're depleting resources that typically last a week within a few hours. So we put in additional requests. We're trying to replenish. We have a lot of, we say 10 per person per resident, but unfortunately we're seeing a lot of commercial entities come up and take a lot of sandbags. That's depleting resources for those that need them.
Can you tell us if there's any problems going on in Pasadena, whether it be power lines down, maybe some tree branches, or even flooding?
We're fortunate at this point. We only have some minor issues, some flooding. We've had some trees down. We've had a few minor power outages that have been quickly fixed. We're concerned about the overnight hours and what that will lead to tomorrow morning. So we're keeping a close eye on it. We are starting to get some wind, which we haven't had throughout the day, especially in the foothills. So it's the overnight hours that will keep our Emergency Operations Center staff so that we can respond accordingly and bring in additional resources if needed.
So nobody's going home tonight, or at least most people are not going home. You're going to keep that Operations Center staffed. Everybody's going to stay and coordinate with what's going on throughout Pasadena, right?
Correct. And we also want to tell people, please stay away from our foothill. We have beautiful hiking areas up there, but we're seeing some social media posts of people going up to the waterfalls where there's water running downhill. And as we're seeing on the news throughout the day, stay away from the running water. It's very dangerous. Keep those social media posts and photo opportunities for later in the week when things calm down.
Yeah, I guess that'd have to also be a big concern because that water, as you said, it goes downhill, and downhill is Pasadena.
Correct. Yes, and it's beautiful hiking area up there, but stay away for the next several days until that water's flow calms down.
All right, Lisa Dadarian from Pasadena City, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good luck as we get through the storm together. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
It's going to be a long night. All right, as far as school closures, earlier it was reported that classes at Garden Grove Unified would be canceled tomorrow. We're now learning that information was false, and Garden Grove Unified confirms they will have school tomorrow. LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho announced all schools will be closed on Monday. Classes are expected to resume on Tuesday, but he does say that they're carefully watching this storm's impact. Pasadena Unified School District also closed, as are Pasadena City College campuses. Same goes for Saugus Union School District and William S. Hart Union High School District in the Santa Clarita Valley. And the list continues with Rialto Unified School District. All campuses in the Bear Valley Unified School District will be closed tomorrow. And Cal State LA says that classes will be canceled tomorrow as well.
All right, to stay updated on the very latest on Tropical Storm Hilary, just scan this QR code on your screen. It's going to take you straight to our live update blog on KTLA.com. You're going to find the most up-to-date information there. We have links to resources that you might need. You can track the storm's impact from your phone, your tablet, your computer, and you can watch our live streaming coverage on the go. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.